What's going on to you, Taurus, out there? Hope y'all are having a great day. Listen, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. There's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website where I have all the ways to be able to, where it has all the ways to be able to financially support the channel, so I can most definitely keep the show going. If any one of y'all would like to go ahead and send donations, my Cash App is in the description, as well as my PayPal link. So, yeah, donations will most definitely help too. Appreciate that. So, look. So for you, Taurus. Oh, happy birthday, by the way, Taurus. Happy birthday. I know it's Taurus season. Happy birthday. So, you have the Chariot, the Lovers, and you have the Nine of Cups right here. So what you, Taurus, are dealing with is, you were dealing with recently. You, Taurus, were recently dealing with somebody who was caught up with the whole hypergamy type of thing, right? Right? They only date up. You know, you know what I mean? They only date up. They only have this, they only have this perspective. You know, they only have this perspective of thinking that, the only type of people that they should date are people that are in, in their league. And in their league, actually, it's someone above their league. See, this is the delusion, right? That in the league, oh, I only date people who are in my league. But these are people who are out of their league. So it's pure confusion. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And they know that it doesn't make sense. They're just trying to cover up their insecurities and how dysfunctional they actually are. So you, Taurus, may have been getting to know someone. You didn't know that they were like this, obviously, at first. But at the same time, you didn't know they were like this. You were talking to them, and you found out that they were like this. They have this elitist mentality to them, right? And they were trying to play it off, trying to make it seem like, well, you, Taurus, have to be the one to really try to qualify for them. And truth is, the two of you have to qualify for one another, right? That's how you figure out if the two of you are compatible. That's what dating is about. That's what the first couple of dates are about. This is the reason why people can go on the first time y'all hang out, date, whatever it is that y'all want to call it, right? I'm calling it a date to basically put it into perspective of romance. But you can call it hanging out. You can call it whatever it is that you want to call it. Kicking it, whatever it is that you want to call it. But at the same time, this is why it is that you hang out. This is why you go on a date. This is why you kick it. Especially the first 3 dates are actually supposed to be the most important. And they're the ones that you're actually supposed to spend the most amount of time on. And if not the most amount of time on, the most meaningful that sets up the relationship. Not saying that later on down the road, spending time with the person isn't meaningful, but I'm saying initially, right? Initially, that's what it is that you're trying to set up. You're trying to set something up to see if you're even compatible with the person, okay? And because the truth is that it's very easy to actually break up a potential relationship because two of you owe nothing to one another, right? Y'all are just now getting to know each other. So you found out, right, from doing a little bit of digging, that they have an elitist mentality. And that, again, the Nine of Cups, they only date upward, right? They're looking for fancifulness. They're looking for, on either side, they're looking for fancifulness. And you, Taurus, started to see an ugly side to them that you really wish that they didn't have in them. You wish that they were more beautiful people inside as well as outside. But they had this mentality that you were not good enough, right? Or that, in other words, they were giving you a hard time, right? And they were trying to play it off like you need to get up on their level. So these video game this video game jargon, but levels, the game, doesn't that sound like a video game? Levels. You call life a game. You say levels. Don't video games have levels? You saying that you playing, don't you play a video game? All this video game jargon, right? And we living in real life. This is not GTA 5. This is not San Andreas. GTA San Andreas. This is not GTA 5, okay? All right? You don't get 9 lives. You get, a 5 or how much they give you. You get 1. Get it right. The Sun now on the Page of Cups now is about how, but they were trying to make it seem like they're doing you a favor by hanging out with you, Taurus. Right? So what you Taurus did, you Taurus told them straight up, what? You doing me a favor? Okay, dub. Now don't do me any favors. And the reason why you potentially told them that, or you told them that in essence, is because you Taurus see how hypocritical they are, right? They were trying to play it off like they were so fanciful and they had this and they had that. But then at the same time, it's like here you are. Here they are projecting their nonsensical stuff onto you, right? Like, oh, that's why it is, but I'm going to still rock with you. It's like, why? It's like, come on, yo. And this is why I say that hypergamy doesn't exist. The concept exists in the sense that people are playing games, but the actual factualities of hypergamy doesn't exist. It's not a real thing in reality. It's not a natural law. And the reason why it's not natural law is because everybody wants to get the BBD. What's the BBD? Get your mind out of the gutter. The BBD means the bigger, better deal. If I can get the finest person that I can get that has, but more importantly, has all the internals that I like, of course I'll accept her. Of course I'll take her. Same thing on the other side. If they can get the most suited and booted Terminator, machine-like person that on the other side they could go ahead and get, why wouldn't they do that? They're getting everything that they want. That's a foundation. And then on top of that, they're also getting extras that they like too. Why wouldn't they want that? So that's everybody. So the thing about it is, you Taurus were able to see through that, right? Like it, and this is what the Six of Swords represents. It makes no sense. On one hand, they're bagging on you and giving you a hard time and thing, but they're very inconsistent. So you Taurus started, again, the devil, you Taurus started to see the inconsistencies. It was like, nah, you got to get up on out of here, because the inconsistencies is too much. So now the Two of Pentacles is about you Taurus. And the devil, they're looking at you like the fact that you told them that you don't want to hang out with them after they gave you a chance, or they're talking to you, or like you Taurus, right? And they may not necessarily had that conversation with you per se. They could have, but the way that they were interacting with you was like, oh, well, I'm doing you a favor. You Taurus probably told them straight up. Some of you probably told them straight up, don't do you any favors, because they're going to look, because those individuals trying to do you a favor is going to look stupid. Not only that too, but you Taurus also understand, maybe you didn't tell them this, but what you understood is it was time for you to get up on out of Dodge. And that's exactly what it is that some of you Taurus did. Some of you potentially just got right out of there, ghosted them. And then now they're very upset at the fact that you Taurus actually had the guts to do that. So now the Two of Pentacles is about them. Well, it really represents frustration on both of your sides, because it represents their frustration, because they understand that in order to come to you and really be something, they're going to have to come off that narrative. They're going to have to come off of that narrative, and they're not going to be able to. The narrative is too important. The narrative is too strong. The narrative is too strong. We at a point right now where, it's like, people getting upset when you tell them that they look good. These people are crazy. So you can't build anything with that. You know, especially if you Taurus have been going through that. And it also represents frustrating. It also represents frustration for you because that's all that's out. You know, is it really 100% all that's out? No. But you have to go looking for it, though. And you're going to have to sometimes search high and low. I'm not even going to lie to you, Taurus. You may sometimes have to search high and low. You'll have to search high and low. So the Seven of Pentacles and the Strength card now is about how, since that's the case, they're going to continue to talk trash, even though they're going to want you to be back with them. Don't listen to them. Ignore it. Continue to live on with your life. You, Taurus, will meet better as long as you know how to scout, how to vet, how to look for people. Just because you're decent individuals does not mean that you are guaranteed a successful relationship, Taurus. Just because you are decent does not necessarily mean that you will have a successful relationship. Get that in your head. So this is why you need to be on top of your game. This is why you need to be on point with who you are and where you are and what you've got going on. Because just because you're decent, it does not mean that you will always be in a position where you have the pick of the litter of a person just because you bring value to the table. No one has a pick of the litter, if I'm being honest. Because you'll hear that type of talk. Oh, this person has this and they have all this type of stuff. Cool. But they still look at the quality, right? 90% are chasing after 10%, right? But the 10% don't want the 90% because the 10% are still looking at the quality of the 90%. A lot of them have children. A lot of them have kids, baggage, bills, dysfunctional exes. They're looking at the quality. You understand what I'm saying? So whether it's at the top, on either side, regardless of whatever you're into, right? I don't care. But regardless of whether you're at the top, bottom, middle, it doesn't matter. No one has their pick of the litter like that. Everybody has to fight to get what they want. In other words, what am I trying to say, right? I'm trying to say that everybody has to go. There's no exception. I know what I'm talking about. Everybody has to go after what it is that they want, and everybody has to show effort. There's no exception to that. Because even the elite people, the people who are rich, guess what happens? They go after individuals who are rich also, a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And if those people, if one side is showing effort, the other side is going to let them know you're not showing enough effort, which will cause them to have a clashing or leave one another. Or if they're dysfunctional, you'll hear about it in these magazines. You'll hear about it in the news, how things don't necessarily go as well as they planned because they too are going through relationship issues because they're not showing enough effort. One person is with the narrative. This is going on. So if the elite, quote unquote elite, if the financially elite is having problems, where do you think you Taurus are going to be, right? And you Taurus may have greater value than them because you are not soulless and you have not compromised yourself in a way of trying to get money the way that they have. So let's clarify the Strength card. King of Pentacles, Five of Swords. Yeah, Five of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and here you have the Temperance. So these 5 cards right here to clarify the Strength card, the King of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, is about how, but you Taurus are most definitely on the correct track, because when you see things like this getting harder and harder, that means that you're approaching the end. Think of any video game, right? What happens like in Devil May Cry, right? In the video game, Devil May Cry, the video game franchise, it usually has 20 levels, 20 missions, right? 20 levels. missions. And what happens in them, right? The first one is the easiest, and as you go on, it gets harder and harder, right? Incrementally, right? Not absorbently, but incrementally, harder and harder. But what happens when you defeat all 20 levels? You beat the game. So whenever it is that you Taurus see things are starting to get harder and harder, the way that dating has become, that's not bad. It means that you're getting closer and closer to the end of all of this hypergamy, game plan, stupid stuff. Because now it's going to be a position where you Taurus will date now, and it's even happening now. You Taurus will notice that you're starting to date some people or trying to get to know some people, and you realize how more and more people starting to become down a little bit down more to earth. Not saying that they're all the way down to earth where they're healthy, but they're becoming a little bit more down to earth. You notice how a few years ago they would have hung up the phone on you, talk crazy to you, told you about what you're not going to do and why they're better than you and all this other type of stuff. You notice how it is that they calm down now? The Ace of Pentacles, and that's because the Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Wands is all about how you Taurus, you set the record straight for yourself. You can live without a significant other. You can, okay? If you have a plan, if you know what you're doing, if you've prepared yourself well enough, you can live without a significant other. Will it be difficult? Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. You know, especially if you're not really prepared for it. Yeah. The Temperance now is about how you Taurus are, just like I said before, you're in a very good position because you're doing everything that you need to do. All it is that you Taurus need to do is keep doing it and just be more wise with, just do exactly what it is that you've been doing. You've been seeing when people are on some nonsense, peep game, leave them alone when they are on nonsense.